Hi there and welcome to my channel. I'm Bobbie and this is Bobbie Reads, and today we have a reading for the sign of Aries, and this reading is going to be for the month of June 2024. So what you can expect, sign of Aries for June 2024, and this is sun, moon, or rising, okay? I started out with some pre-shuffled cards. I wanted to meditate and get into your energy, Aries. So we're going to start with these cards that I pre-shuffled for you, and then we will start to pull more cards and get further into your reading. So we're going to start off with this first card. This is from the Archetype deck. It's card number 4, and it's the Eternal Child. The Archetype cards I like to pull for the general feeling of the month, what you can kind of expect, what's sort of the big theme. I normally only pull one card, but you had two that stuck together. So you actually have two archetype cards, and the second one you have for the month of June is the Sword. So right away, this is pretty intense energy. This Eternal Child, we see it almost looks like someone is bent over and we're seeing the top of their head, and we're seeing this ball of fire or this sun, star, and this is very much fire energy. And you, Aries, are a fire sign. So there's a lot of this fire. The Eternal Child talks about the person who struggles between wanting to remain carefree and childlike and have that joy, right? And doesn't want to have to face the responsibilities of being an adult. They don't want any part of that energy. They just want to be carefree and just kind of wild. But that can come with its consequences, because we can't always be carefree. We have to have some sort of like responsibility. There has to be balance. And so I do feel, Aries, like there is this struggle right now of not wanting to be burdened down with all of the responsibilities and the minutia of your everyday life, but yet here you are, right? And so there's this like conflict of wanting to be carefree and not wanting to have to deal with the responsibilities of the day-to-day life. For some people, now this is a general reading, so take what resonates, leave what does not, because a lot of messages are going to come through because a lot of different types of people are watching this video. But for some of you, there may also be addiction issues at play. So this card can be representative of someone who is struggling with addiction. Okay, so then the next card we had was the Sword archetype card. The Sword talks about taking decisive action. Swift action. So making a decision and making it fast. And one of the things that this card specifically speaks to is this idea of the very first time we met the Sword was moments after our birth, when the umbilical cord that connected us to our mothers was severed. It was done fast, and it was done swiftly. Okay. So for most people, I know sometimes people delay that, but we're just talking in like really broad generalities here. But that was a swift, decisive action that had immediate consequences. And so I believe there is a decision that you need to make, and you need to be swift, and it needs to be like a severing of something. So if it's like a releasing of something, a letting go of something, separating from a person, separating potentially from an addiction. But it's this like swift, decisive, don't think about it, don't dwell on it. You need to make a decisive action now. Okay? So that was the energy for the archetype cards. And then I also pulled some tarot. So we're going to go ahead and get into this tarot. Starting out, it's about finding balance, needing balance. So for June, and this is the very first tarot card that comes up. So this is the very first thing that is going to come up or that you need to address. And I do feel like this is telling you that you need to find some balance. The Justice card is the card of Libra. Libra is an air sign, which is represented here by the Sword. But the Libra is also the scales. It's about being fair and balanced and being just And so this is telling you that you need to find some balance, because I do feel like you're very much in this eternal child energy, and it's important to balance this out, especially when we have the sword card. If you look at it, this is very much almost like a yin yang symbol. So it's about this balance, right? It's 50% bright, it's 50% dark. It's the sun, it's the moon. Like it's a very balanced looking card. And with justice, you're being told right now you need to really try to find some balance in your life. This can also mean that you might have a favorable outcome if you're in the middle of some court situation. Again, I think that's for a few people, not for the majority of the people. But if you are dealing with some type of legal matter, I do see it being resolved in early June, and being resolved fairly. So whatever is meant to happen. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to come out in your favor. I said fairly. So if it's fair that you should have some kind of consequence, then that is what will happen. If it is fair for you to not have a consequence, or to maybe be granted something in a judgment, that's because that is the just thing. So just remember that. If it goes against you and you say like, well, wait a minute, I have that justice card. The justice card means justice will be served, whatever that looks like. But for the majority of the Aries watching this reading, I do feel that this is calling out to you. It's important to find balance right now, Aries, okay? The next card that we have is the Nine of Wands reversed. So wands are fire signs. They're fire cards. So we've got this Aries fire coming through, okay? And this can be having a difficult time in your interactions with others. You might find that you're having a difficult time communicating. You might find that there is misunderstanding or conflict. You might feel like people aren't hearing you or understanding you or giving you like a fair opportunity to speak your mind. And this could be using a lot of force, perhaps, when force isn't necessarily needed. Now, I'm not picking up what this is in regards to, if it's in regards to a work situation or a personal situation, a friendship situation. So we might get more clarification on that later, or it might be because this is for so many different people, it's going to look different for each person, this fight. So we're just going to kind of roll with this, okay? So the next card we have is the Three of Wands reversed. This, again, is another fire card. It's wands. This card talks about communication issues and not being able to communicate with people. So we have these two cards of conflict, okay? And we started off with this justice card. And then you have these two fiery cards, Aries energy, a lot of fire. So the first card we started off with was this card of balance. And then we're getting all this fire energy. So we're going to go back to this, and this is saying find balance, because you're already a fire sign and you're going to have all this fire coming for you. So you need to temper that. You need to find balance before you go into this month, because you're going to be dealing with a lot of fire and a lot of heat, and you're dealing with a lot of people not understanding you, people kind of clashing with you or giving you opposition. And so there's going to be this opportunity here for your heat to turn up, Aries, but remember that you need to be tempered, okay? And then the last card we have for your pre-shuffled cards is the King of Wands. Again, more fire. So, hey, Aries, like we need to find some water. We need to balance you out, okay? With the King of Wands, this is the time to come forward with your ideas. So this is really tough here, because this is your time to come forward with your ideas and to let people know what you're thinking, or to be creative, or to start something, do something. But what's happening here is you're getting opposition and you're getting people who are not understanding. So things that you can do, and I talk about in the tarot that the tarot is just a story, and that you don't have to accept or claim what the story is. You can see your reading and say, I don't want that. And so when these things do start to happen, you can choose a different path, because we all have free will, okay? And so that's how tarot is so useful. So if you know, okay, now's the time for me to share my ideas, but the tarot has shown me that I'm going to have issues with opposition and with communication, then if you know that, then when you do go into the situation where it's time for you to share your ideas or what you're passionate about or what you want to create or whatever it is, and you know that you're going to have an issue with communicating in opposition, then you can prepare for how you want to present this idea in the most balanced way possible to avoid this conflict, okay? To avoid this opposition, to prevent this miscommunication. So this is a really beautiful like warning. Hey, this is what's coming up, but this is the time for your ideas. The time is now. So if you get this opposition, the opposition it's going to happen, but that doesn't mean it's not the right time. It's the right time. But find ways to counter this, all this fire energy, by being as balanced as possible. Okay, so you cannot let the fire side completely take over. You have to find balance. You need equal parts of earth, air, water, fire. So let's pull some more cards to get some more information and just get some clarification over what the month of June has for all of you Aries. Okay, so let's get some clarification on the Justice card, please. What additional information can we add to this Justice card? So we have the Six of Cups reversed. Six of Cups is a card of nostalgia. It's a card of remembering your past, thinking about your memories, and oftentimes it's around your memories to your earlier life or your childhood. This card can mean that there were things that happened in your childhood that created this imbalance in your life to allow your fire energy to really take over your life, to really consume. So it's this issue in your that like created this need for balance. So there might be something in your past that you need to go back and that you need to address, or that you need to deal with, or you need to either heal, grieve, do shadow work, release, forgive, or just acknowledge, and then move on. Don't allow this thing that happened so long ago to create so much imbalance in your life, Aries. By finding this balance, it's going to serve you very, very well. You're going to be much more effective because you have this great idea that you need to share. This is the time for it. You need to get it out, but you don't want to block it with your own fiery energy, okay? So whatever this is something that it's time to let it go. It's time to find your own way of releasing it, whatever that looks like, so that you can really focus here on your King of Wands. This needs to be your focus, okay? Can we get some clarification on the Nine of Wands and the Three of Wands? Issues with communication, opposition. What's going on here? Okay, so more Wands energy, okay? Ten of Wands reversed. You are perceiving your issues and your challenges to be much greater than they actually are. And that is the root of these issues here with people with a conflict and the issues with communication. It could be on your end and not other people. So you might be feeling like you're getting opposition and feeling like you're having communications, but people on the other side don't see it. You're the one who's perceiving it. It's your perspective. It's how you're viewing the situation. So take time to really look over when you feel like you're getting opposition or when you feel like people aren't understanding you. Take a minute, step back and look in and say, are they really having an issue? Or am I just perceiving it that way and there's really not an issue? okay? This is a very telling card. And again, more fire energy. So I do feel like you're having a very difficult time right now, Aries, with controlling that fire within you. There's a lot of fire going on. Can we get some more information on this King of Wands? Is there anything we need to know about this idea? Where this idea is coming from? What it is in relation to? Let's get some clarification on the King of Wands for Aries. Woo! Okay, hold on. That one went flying. Okay, so the card that came was the Hierophant. So the Hierophant is this card of your faith. It's this card of your beliefs. It's a very spiritual card. It can be tied to religion, spirituality. This is representative of a pope who is preaching to his followers. It's someone who's giving guidance, and this came out for the King of Wands. So we were trying to clarify, what is the idea? The idea is going to come from your faith, your spirituality, or your religion. This has to do something with that. Now, that could mean a lot of different things. The idea is not about spirituality. The idea comes from your spirituality, your religion, or your beliefs. That's where you're going to get the inspiration for your idea. Okay, I hope I made that clear and not too confusing, but it's going to come from either your understanding of something that you learned when, through your faith or whatever. I feel like I'm making it more confusing, but yeah, okay. Okay, Aries, I want to switch to an oracle deck. So we're going to switch now to the Queen of the Moon Oracle. And let's see what messages we can get from this, okay? So this is going to be June 2024. So we have the Void, card number 1, the Dark Moon. So this is, I like to equate this card here to the new moon, the cycle of the moon, the new moon. So if you're familiar with the cycles of the moon, it goes through waxing, waning, full moon, and new moon. And when it's a new moon, it's blocked by the shadow of the earth, and so it's a dark moon. When it is a new moon, that is the time to manifest. That is the time to put what it is that you want, to put it out into the ethers. So it's taking nothing, it's taking an idea, and then it's putting it out there into the energetic field and then allowing it to manifest and come into your life. But it starts in the void. It starts where there's nothing. It starts in the dark. So this is a good time for you to begin manifestation. This is the perfect time for your King of Wands ideas, because you're in this vibration of creating, of creation. You can create anything you want in this time because this is the cycle that you're in. You can also see that this person here in this card, if you can see the bottom there, they're resting. They're conserving their energy. They're building up their strength so that they can be ready for when they have to put in the work to bring this into fruition. Okay, let's see what else we have. New moon beginnings. Okay, so we were like literally just talking about this. So this is just the universe confirming, yes, this is exactly what I'm talking about. You literally had card 1, card 2. So we're going from nothing, okay, the void, now to beginnings. So again, it's that time for new ideas, new beginnings, new cycles. All right. But it's also keeping your eternal child over here in check, because this eternal child energy is what's creating this conflict here and creating all this fire energy, okay? And we need to go back to the main energy of the reading, which is the eternal child and the sword. The sword involves taking decisive action, swift action. So remember that when you're going through this month, when you're making decisions, it needs to be decisive. You need to make a firm decision, no back and forth, and you have to make sure that your eternal child isn't sabotaging you here, because I do feel that this eternal child, Aries, is what's creating this conflict here for you. and it's all perceived. The eternal child is in your mind or consciousness or whatever, and it's like talking to you. You know those cartoons, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but like when I was younger, I'm like so old, but when I was younger, there were cartoons where there would be like the main character and there'd be an angel on one shoulder and a devil on the other, and the angel would be like, you know, don't do that bad thing, and then the devil would be like, do the bad thing. So that's kind of the, like, your eternal child. Your eternal child is like that little devil on your shoulder that's like, do those bad things, you know, and it's like, no, we're not doing those. We're going to find balance. We're yin and yang. We're finding the balance, the light and the dark. We're pulling into our inner Libra energy. We're pulling that in, okay, Aries? You got to pull in some Libra, and that's going to help you through this so that you can get to your creation and your new beginning. Let's get one last card from this Queen of the Moon Oracle. This is one of my favorite decks. I just love this deck so much. I feel like it's just always so spot on. It's not the biggest deck. It's a pretty small one. I think it's only like, let me see how many cards it is. It's only, well, the box doesn't say. It's not a lot of cards. It's a very small deck. 44. So, 44. Oh, I love that it's 44. 1144 is like one of my favorite number combinations. So it's only 44 cards, but man, 44 is all you need. Okay, so let's get one more card from this deck. So we got, oh my God, you guys got 1, 2, 3. All right, it's like steps. That is that's so crazy. It's telling you, so this is the realization, all right? So we're starting, this is hilarious. I've never seen this with this deck. So we're starting with the void. You're starting with nothing, okay? And then from that, you're creating these new beginnings, new ideas. And number 3 is realization. So this is you figuring out your idea, having the clarity, understanding where you're going. So this is the door. This is nothing. This is darkness. This, you can see the door, but it's a little ways away. And this, you are walking through the keyhole. You are headed on out. Okay. Oh my gosh, this is seriously the coolest. So I'm just Aries, this is such a cool reading. Okay, let's change gears now and go to, I want to go to the Work Your Light Oracle cards. And let's just get some final messages, any pieces of advice for our Aries for June 2024. What final messages or pieces of advice do we have for Aries for 2024? Pillar of light. Your vibration is rising. You are the oracle. You have this amazing opportunity to manifest. And when you are in that energy or that vibration, that is a very high vibration. So your vibration, in order to do these things, bring these ideas into fruition, your vibration has to rise until it meets the same vibration of what it is that you desire. And that's when we see those things come together, okay? So this is saying this, your vibration is rising and you are light. You are tapped into it. You just have to cool the fire down so that you can bring it in, because you are intuitive. You are fired up. You are connected. You are the oracle, okay? You're probably very intuitive, Aries. All right, let's see what else we have. Any final messages for our Aries? We have break the chain, ancestral patterns, healing, rewriting the future. So we talked about things from the past being what has created all of this fire in your reading. So we know it comes from childhood or from your family lineage. So this card is telling you it's time to break the chain. It's time to break those patterns. You do not have to relive the past that your family has lived. You can break that chain, you can break that cycle, and you can choose to live however it is you want. You have that choice. You're not being controlled. You can choose a different path. Boundaries. Okay, so boundaries. I feel like you have a hard time setting boundaries, Aries, and boundaries are so important. Why are boundaries important? Boundaries are important because they tell people how we want to be loved. I'm very much getting that you have a hard time establishing boundaries. Your family might be a family that does not have good boundaries, where people, their space, their lives, things like that are not respected. That is a tough place to be. I come from a family that there's no boundaries. And it can lead to a lot of issues. It is absolutely okay to set boundaries. It does not mean that you're a bad person. It doesn't mean that you don't love people. It actually means you love them more because you're telling them how you need to be loved so that you can have a good relationship with that person. So boundaries, sorry, that was just like a download that came in, Aries. I feel like you need boundaries. You need to start establishing boundaries with people, and that's how you start to break the cycle. Because the issue, or one of the major issues, is there's no boundaries. Okay? And then we have take a break. A life's work, not a season. Get off the treadmill. So this is your advice. Take a break. You're down here carrying this heavy load, right, of all this like conflict and issues, and you don't have to do that. You can put that down because that's a perceived issue. That's a struggle that you're choosing that's not necessary. No one is putting that on you. You're putting it on yourself. But you probably don't even realize you're putting it on yourself. So this is your... Sorry, you guys. My dogs are wrestling in the background. I have 2 puppies, and every time I go to film, they decide that they want to be loud. So I'm so sorry. If you hear wrestling in the background, just my dogs. Okay, so this take a break, though, it's telling you, like, you don't have to do this. You can just choose to take a break, put it down, take a minute, take a beat, okay? So that you can gather yourself, find your balance, and then focus on your ideas. This obstacle that's getting in your way here, I do feel is very much a self-created obstacle. And if you can figure out how to lessen it, remove it, get over it, whatever it is, I think by taking a break, you're going to free up all of that mind space, that brain space to create, because you have creation. You have, like, here's the steps, step 1, step 2, step 3. Like, you are going to create. You have the idea. You have the ability to manifest and create whatever it is that you want. So just free yourself from this self-induced mess, Aries. Okay, I think that's all I have for you guys today. I hope this video resonated. If it did, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up. If you have not already subscribed, please be sure to hit the subscribe button on your way out. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new content, please be sure to hit the little notification bell so that you are notified every time I upload. Also, I do private readings, guys, and so you can find those and schedule those on my website, which is www.bobbiereads.com. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and trusting me to do your tarot, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!